No pressure. We'll call out when the actual episode starts.
Thanks for being here, by the way, Brian. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Brian.
Oh,
thank
this
you.
is a pleasure. I love stuff like this. Just
It's
geeking out.
It's a ton of fun. There's no pressure on our end because we're not making any money off of it. We got no sponsors. It's just chatting.
Most likely.
Most likely. Yeah.
Wait. Oh no, I cut out for a second. Everybody froze. Let me
Good.
check my Wi-Fi.
That's the way to do it. Without all those pretenses and sponsorships and expectations, I feel like we get a better product. Like we can just speak our minds and like go down rabbit holes and tangents, as opposed to like we don't have an agenda that we're trying to meet. We're just trying to talk to cool, rad creators in music, and you happen to fit all those criterias. So it's cool, man.
And we don't have to
Okay.
stop halfway through to promote some weird product. Soylent Veal. Get your Soylent
I
Veal.
was just gonna say like some protein shake.
Yeah.
We're actually doing Farmers Only reached out to us, so they do want to do an ad spot today, and also Truth Social.
Truth.
Okay.
The wrong stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
the rugs.
Gosh, we're gonna lose one viewer maybe. Some random dude in India who's like, nope. Some bot.
Who happened to go down the alt-right pipeline, like the algorithm hit him just right. Then he
He winds up at our show for some reason. I'm sorry, Brian. Yeah, I don't know if you want to be
It's
on
all
this.
I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm just
Okay.
gonna drink. I'm gonna mess it up. Sayama Kaori something. It's a green tea.
Not
My nephew is a tea geek, so he sets me up with nice teas.
What's your favorite that he set you up with?
This one is pretty great. I like the green teas, the pungent, grassy green teas. So
Does any of the caffeine
yeah.
affect you? Are you able to drink coffee or green tea late at night?
espresso, no. I have to stop at about 3. Tea, not so bad. Especially green tea doesn't seem to bother me too much.
It's a slower release of caffeine, I've found.
Yeah. Now,
2 cups
Kurt and
of...
Monica, where are you guys located? Are you on the West Coast?
Yes.
Okay.
You're on the West Coast? I think all 4 of us right now are on the West Coast.
I'm actually in Chicago.
Oh, it's really late for you.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
You're getting your first snow right now, I heard, in the Midwest. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's gonna be there's gonna be some good atmospherics tomorrow.
Right on.
All right.
So, yeah.
My partner's...
Looking forward for the polar vortex every year for the next forever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Brad, are you
Monica's
originally from the Midwest?
Oh.
I am. I grew up in Indianapolis, and I moved up here to Chicago when I went to school, and I've been here ever since.
It's a great area. My partner's from Kansas. That's how I know that it started snowing, because she was like, "Dad just said it's snowing," and her sister lives outside of Chicago, and she was
Okay.
Hoffman Heights, something like that. I don't know.
Hoffman Estates.
That's it. That's where she lives.
Yeah.
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 So
Where did you go to school, and what was your focus?
So I was raised in a very fundamentalist Christian environment, and I went to school at a school called Wheaton College, which is a pretty religious school, but for where I came from, it was moving left from there, so they all thought I was, leaving the plantation and maybe going to go to hell because I was going to Wheaton College. Which is kind of funny. But at Wheaton, I studied philosophy, took as many music classes as I could, but philosophy was my major. And I told my parents weren't really into that, but I told them I was going to go to law school, and I was studying piano from one of the professors, and he connected me to a music company in Chicago, and I interned there, and that was that. So,
All right.
yeah.
And had you been playing? Oh, it's all getting recorded.
Yeah.
But had
Yeah.
you been playing? When did you start getting into this style of music that you are clearly an expert at?
It's been my whole life. I took piano lessons pretty seriously my whole childhood, and had synthesizers as a kid, and a 4-track and drum machines, and used to lock myself in my room all night, when I was a kid even. So it's always been my thing.
That's awesome. What was your starting equipment outside of the piano?
My grandparents bought me the first Yamaha DX7 in the Midwest. And it was funny because that was the time when the big analog synths like the Jupiter 8 that's what I really wanted. And they got me this digital thing, and I was I didn't appreciate it for what it was. I ended up really getting into it and knowing it backwards and forwards, but yeah. Kind of
Was
fun.
it one of those times like when you get a gift that you're like, you don't really like, but you don't want to be rude? So you're just like, oh, it's great. It's really nice.
Yeah, totally.
I like
Totally.
steel wool socks. Thank you, Grandma.
But in retrospect, it was, I mean, I knew it then too. I mean, it was an amazing thing to have. So yeah, it
wasn't
cool.
what you were expecting, but
Yeah,
hey, a tool's a tool, I guess, at that point.
that's right.
Do you still use it? Do you still have it?
I don't. And there were times when I looked at picking another one of those up, but yeah, I don't have one of those now.
That's fair. So we're gonna talk more about the Jupiter 8. I'm very interested in that project. That's gonna be awesome. Adam is just a few minutes out. It's like
Okay.
I don't know. It's like 7 a.m. for him. It's fine. So
when
we'll
when I was a kid, talking about getting a gift just to kill time.
yeah.
We went to this like a great aunt of mine for some Christmas little social. We didn't usually go to their house. It was kind of a unusual, special thing. And she went through the trouble of making us. She used to knit, and she made us these custom slippers, and gave them to us as little gifts. And when we got there, I was a bratty little kid, and so we get there and we see that there's a gift for us, and all excited, opening it up. I'm hoping it's going to be like a Hook collector's card set showing. And I open it up, and it's a pair of yarn, knitted slippers. And I stood up and threw them down and said, "Slippers." And as I threw them down, I could feel my dad's hand grab my arm and levitate me into the air and, take me to some other part of the house and do some sort of capital punishment on me.
Oh man.
You ungrateful little brat. So now that's our running joke. When someone's ungrateful about something, we say slippers. Yeah.
That's the Charlie Brown I got a rock type thing. Yeah, as I've gotten older, I got to lower my levels. But as I've gotten older, I've come to find that I love when I get socks for Christmas. Am I alone in that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Really?
I get socks for Christmas. I love them.
You become more utilitarian as you get older.
A good pair of wool socks. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a pair of socks last year for Christmas from my mom that they're extra dumb. They're really good socks. I always wear them with my Doc Martens. They're great boot socks, but they're hamburger socks. So they were folded up to look like a hamburger, but so each sock, one looks like it has the tomato and lettuce and bun and the other thing. So it's an unmatching pair of socks. It's ridiculous. And when I've been at places where I go to someone's house and they're like, "Take your shoes off," they're like, "What is on your feet?" I'm like, "They're my hamburger socks, actually."
Comfort.
They're amazing.
Comfort
we all
is on
need
your
a
feet.
good pair of hamburger socks.
Yes.
As you
If you
get
can find them
older,
online,
Delicious
I'll-
comfort.
you
I'll
like
send people hamburger
utility
socks as
over
a
you.
gift for coming on the show.
What's that?
Utility.
Utility over
You
you value that over the frills that you like as a little kid. You're like, oh, I like things that I could use over just having something just to have, except for this. Except for something like this, nostalgia and utility, yeah.
Yeah,
but I feel like, like our generation, millennial and older, like indulgences are different than like we're not. I mean, I guess it's different for each person, but like our indulgences are very tied to nostalgia, to like this. Not that things were better back then, but like we have this. We like to live in this pretend past when we could throw a pair of slippers on the ground.
I watched a documentary last night about John McEnroe.
Oh yeah.
And which is kind of like my childhood. I mean, I was young, but I was like right in the middle of that, and it was just such a nostalgic throwback. I want to go get my Bjorn Borg headband, so I should wear that.
John McEnroe. You were into tennis?
Yeah, it was
awesome.
Yeah, as a kid, I was. Yeah.
You don't play anymore?
I do. I still play.
Oh, cool. I know him from his like TV, like his movie roles and like the characters he plays on TV. I don't know him from. Yeah, I'm young.
He was a jerk. I was really into Bjorn Borg at the time, but it was cool to watch. It was cool to watch that era and hear his telling of it.
So I have a question for you. With do you still play tennis? And you go to public courts, is that correct? Mm-hmm. So my wife and I, we like to play tennis. That's kind of our thing when our wrists don't hurt, because we're getting older now. So we have to wear like the carpal tunnel thing. Have you noticed, apparently this is the fastest growing sport in America. It's called pickleball. Have you come across pickleball players?
Yeah.
They are intense, dude.
It's an endemic.
My mom plays every day.
Yeah.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
So there are like battles. She lives in this community, and there are pickleball battles between the tennis players, and it's like a whole thing.
So I work for municipal government, and one of the latest ordinances that we did with Parks and Recreation, I don't write at the ordinances, but they told me that they're like, hey, we have to go out of our way to create like these, like basically city legislation to make sure that like people are being fair at tennis courts, because the pickleball players were like bullying like tennis. There was a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, they were like, hey, we're going to release this. And I was like, I'm going to take 2 hours off work. I need to go there to capture this, to see this shit show, because it's insane. They're taking it so seriously. I was like, if people took anything, like any civil discourse or like politics as seriously as they took pickleball, we'd have flying cars. World hunger would end. They take pickleball very seriously.
My uncle said that if he could negotiate a peace deal between the tennis players and the pickleballers, that he'd probably get a Nobel Prize. I don't know.
Peace in the Middle East. Yeah.
Well, there's a reason they lock the squash players in little prisons. They are lethal with those. You guys played squash before?
No, we haven't been to prison, Kurt.
It's brutal.
It's only you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Shut up. Don't associate that with my name now. Adam.
Hey.
This is Adam. Say hi, everyone, to Adam, I think. I don't know why Adam turned into my mom all of a sudden. Adam, you have an actual audio setup this time.
Yeah, right?
You sound so good.
Ooh, well, thank you.
Oh man, I'm so happy, because now this is only gonna be 3 hours of editing. I'm sorry, Adam. Last time every track I had to split up separately, and they were all slightly out of sync. So I had to go through the entire. It was like how long was that? 3 hours of recording?
Yeah, it was
Something
quite a
like
bit.
I had to go through and manually refit every single track. That's why it took 2 months to get that episode out.
So, great conversation.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How does Riverside export the audio? Does it give you individual tracks of each participant? Like I was curious about that.
It will do the whole. It'll do the whole show, and it will also do individual clips. But, and I'm sorry, I'm singling you out, Adam. This isn't anything personal.
Yeah.
Please don't take it personally. But your sound quality was so bad that I had to take the individual tracks. But the problem is the sample rate for the main clip was different than for the individual tracks. So I couldn't sync them up together.
Oh, no.
So when I had them in Logic, it would latch onto the main track. I'd take that. I'd had to redo it 3 or 4 times. So eventually I just had to have it as a reference separate and then go from there. So that's why you'll hear a slight echo in the episode, because I couldn't get it perfect. But Adam, I'm like listening, and then I hear like Sandy making dinner, or like I hear the microwave going off, and you have cats like fighting outside. I'm like, Adam, what the heck? I can't just. I have like that RX plugin on Logic to where it can take out stuff. It wouldn't work for you. So I'm beyond thrilled that you have a fantastic setup now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the problem last time was that I couldn't figure out why my sound card wasn't working.
Oh.
And so I used my cheap headphone setup.
Yeah, you were using the Apple headphones or whatever.
No, I was using
It was like the Anchor, the ANKER, what corporate business guys use on Zoom calls. Like, I told you, Tony, to sell those stocks last week.
Exactly.
As he's in Starbucks ordering an overly complicated drink.
Yeah, my
So, yeah,
favorite.
the best part is that I figured out that I just had to unplug it and plug it back in again. So
that's the fix to everything.
That's always it. That's always it.
You got to blow into the cartridge.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Every time.
Brian, are you
Nintendo.
rocking the AirPods for this session?
Yeah, do they sound okay? I can switch to a microphone.
No, they sound great.
It sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, the new AirPod Pros are they're amazing. They blow me away.
I've heard great things.
I want my old ones to die so I can have an excuse to get them.
My old ones died. I dove into the lake while I had them in my.
Okay.
I had them in my ears.
They didn't die.
Did they die or were they murdered? Yeah,
I killed them. They were murdered. It was a homicide. It was a what is an unintentional homicide?
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
Manslaughter. It was manslaughter. Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's well, I've had mine for like 5 years because Apple makes quality products.
Yeah.
By children. Now they can't be our sponsor, so I'm saving the integrity of the show with throwing that in
with
there.
rare earth metals that they don't source themselves, but they do get them. Yeah, this is my Apple debacle of the last month. So I had this is my old Apple Watch. This is like 2nd generation, super old. Broke, just stopped working on the update. Then my mom was like, "Oh, I have another Apple iWatch you can have." I was like, "Perfect, that's great." Because it really helps you. I thought I wasn't gonna like it. It helps you keeps me accountable, and I think it does really good to be like, "Hey, you didn't walk today. Go outside and go for a walk, or get your heart rate up." She gives it to me, and then like 2 days later, this happens. So
that happened to one of mine.
Oh.
it's time to get a new Apple Watch. But I also want
take it to the Apple store if you have an Apple store close by.
Mm-hmm.
They'll usually cut you a deal.
Okay. I was debating that.
Like,
I didn't know if they're going to be like
shame.
Yeah, if I should buy a brand new setup or if I should take the Apple store and they'd be like, "Oh, well, here you go," and then the bill is going to be like $300.
Yeah, usually they'll no. If you might be able to trade it in and say, "Hey, this broke," and they might give you a deal on a new one. That's what I was going to suggest.
They'll treat you like a dentist treats you for flossing. They'll be like, "Oh, it just broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You floss once a week, really?" That's how they.
Yeah.
That's how the Apple employees treat me, at least.
Who flosses? Like for real, who flosses? I have a lot, like really big spaces in between my teeth, so I don't need to floss. I can just get in there like willy nilly.
That's not true. That's not true.
I floss every day for a week, like every other week, because I'm like, I'm gonna get really good at this, and then I take a week break, and I'm like, oh, it's...
I
You
floss.
guys are joking, right?
I floss a ton right after I go to the dentist, and then
Monica,
it drops off.
most dental health issues can be solved by flossing. Are you saying you don't floss, or you do floss?
I'm saying that I floss every day, no matter what, and I have been flossing both of my kids' teeth since the second their teeth emerged, even when they have gaps in their teeth. It's not about getting the food out, it's about, gently hugging underneath your gums. I mean, every once in a while, I let my 3-year-old, who has lots of gaps in her teeth, she'll take a day off of flossing, like tonight when she was really fussy. But like, I floss mine and my kids' teeth every day, no matter what.
How do you floss a toddler's teeth? How do you floss their teeth when they're like 2?
You just do
Very
it.
carefully.
You hold them down.
Hold them down.
You're like,
Hold them down.
string in your mouth.
Well, so Kurt, I don't know how you brush teeth, but like my dentist always told me to lay the kids in my lap and have their head looking up at you, so it's like your lap is the dentist chair.
Oh yeah,
And that's
no.
why my
Yeah.
3-year-old, like when she goes to the dentist, she just lays on the chair by herself and lets them do it because she's really used to laying like that.
Yeah.
You're the
You
first
guys
person
take them
I've ever
over to the
met.
dentist? Because you're supposed to take them to the dentist the first time their first tooth
I know.
emerges, like at age 1.
Yes.
Monica, when did
Yeah,
this
let's
become
put
a
my parenting on
shaming
blast on the
session?
podcast.
You're passionate
I
about
am
Right.
very passionate about dental hygiene.
Clearly.
Pickleball
There's those pearly whites you got there.
is to suburban old people
Yeah,
as,
bring it
as
down.
dentistry is to
Dental hygiene to
Monica. Yeah. Jesus.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be
Let's put
super
Kurt's
shady.
parenting on blast on the show. Apple Music, Apple Floss. Let's do it.
I'm sorry, Kurt.
Brian is a parent.
Now we're not going to get any dental association sponsors. For
9
this.
out of 10
9 out of 10
hate
agree.
this show.
9 out of 10 agree. This show is a giant pile of shit. Brian, you are a parent. It's apparent to me that you're a parent.
Oh, yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. How did you
Yes.
handle the dental
Can you see some of
hygiene?
these gray hairs?
No, I can't.
This is really what the show's about. You've been swindled.
We have taken in most all things more of the kind of just corral the kids and empower them to figure things out. So, we would brush their teeth when they were young. It'd just like get up in there. There was no like laying down on the lap. It was just like, come here, kid. And
That's
sometimes,
traumatizing.
the little flossing device with the plastic and it's got the
My
little
favorite.
piece of floss. We would
Yeah.
use those.
Yeah,
Like a tiny
you weren't
violin.
running orthodontic work camps apparently, like other people on this call are.
No, we weren't super fastidious about it. For sure.
Oh, look at Brian's kids are doing fine. I assume. Actually,
They actually are.
I don't know anything about that.
They're okay. They're okay.
They're fine.
They're okay.
College educated, with correct. One of them just started college recently.
Well, one, yeah. One, my daughter, who's older, she had before COVID had gone to a pre-professional dance program outside of Tel Aviv. Was loving it. COVID killed it, so she came home. Went to university, and then that's when COVID started to lift. And she said, "I'm getting out of this university gig and going back to the dance." So she's now back dancing,
Excellent.
and she's actually now an apprentice in a professional company. So she's doing great.
That's amazing.
And my son just started university this year. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tel Aviv.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
Have you
He's
gone
living
out
the best
to
life, that kid.
Have you gone out to visit her yet?
No, we're gonna go. We're gonna go in January
Ooh,
and check it
that's
out.
the
Yeah.
best time to go. I've heard. Right.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I'm
Hope so.
hoping it won't be a super busy tourist time, and the weather should be pretty mild. So yeah, it should be good.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part. It's in that nice area of the climate, in the same like I don't know. I'm not a climatologist. I barely have a music degree, so that'll be excellent. You'll have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bryan, before we get into this, I got to do my due diligence so that nobody's embarrassed on the show. How do we pronounce your last name?
Rheude.
Rheude.
It's a bastardization of it's a German name. If I were really in Germany, it would be like Rheude.
Rheude.
But we pronounce it Rheude.
Mine's the same way.
Or
and
you
in
can
Germany,
say
it's
Rheude or
Rheude.
Rude or Tutti Frutti Rudy, like they did when I was in elementary school.
I'm sure you were
Whatever you
never
want.
teased.
Rudeberger.
When I pitched you for this, when I was like, "Hey," I telling them about you when you submitted to be on the show, I pronounced it with a very like Hispanic. I was like, "Reude."
You pitched this to us in text. We have no idea you did that.
In my brain, I did.
Leo.
I
Your
wish-
brain. Okay.
I wish that's how I might start doing it that way.
For some reason, every time I see you on Instagram or like social media, I'm always like, "Oh, there's Bryan Rheude," but that's not how you say. It's,
How do you view my last name, Leo?
I don't like.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you say your last name?
In Germany, there's no E or H. It's Böhmke. But in Iowa, they say Bumke. And in California, we say Bemke.
Bemke.
Yeah. Bemke. But I like Rudy more. I'm changing my last name.
Rheude.
Sorry, honey.
Rheude.
Sorry, Lena. Rheude.
That
Okay,
sounds
so
like
Bryan
something
Rheude.
you get. A Rheude sounds like something you get in your hands after like you've been working all day, like
A Rheude?
playing piano all day. Like
Or-
that Rheude.
Or
I don't know. When I
or
think
else-
of a Royd, I think
elsewhere.
of something else, Leo.
I was
Yeah.
let you made that.
You're trying to be.
Don't name any
Okay.
of your children hemorrhoid.
What happens
that?
when you don't floss? You get Rheude.
You get Royd.
Oh, you're gonna get razzled, Monica. The floss dictator. Good God, that was the most animated we've ever seen Monica, Bryan. So you're here
Yeah,
for it.
right.
Hey, we've been this whole
also-
thing.
Flossing.
This is the bonus episode. So the bonus episode is going to be Monica gets roasted.
Monica chastises Kurt about, have you taken your kid to the dentist?
Oh, so you were chastising me. There, I'm glad we have clarification.
I literally just texted you to apologize. I did not mean to be so mean.
The funny thing about the whole thing was that Kurt's
it's
analogy
helpful.
was actually about how about getting chastised by the dentist for not flossing, and then we continued to it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You're like, what a great idea.
She pulls her
Let's do that
mask.
now.
She pulls her mask off. You're like, oh, Dr. Davidson.
Also, my 2 cents I want to get out before we get into the main episode is, Bryan, these guys know, but you don't. I know absolutely nothing about music, and I'm very likely to say something incredibly stupid and have very surface. That's my job. When we do these listening episodes, I'm just like, to me that makes me think of this, but I don't know anything about history or about production or how it works. So I have that complete layperson take. So if I say something really stupid, that's why.
Bryan, I'm going to make it worse too.
Oh,
She's
no.
also our fact checker. So
Which I'm not very good
Okay.
at.
she's
But
our layperson, our layman.
I will Google things if we can't remember where something comes from. I'll look it up, figure it out.
Yeah, Monica's the layman of the show.
It's
There
very
are no stupid things.
exactly. I was just gonna say it's also very
Also,
refreshing.
Bryan, if I say something stupid, it's just because I'm stupid. It's not because I'm going to make an excuse about it. It's just,
we
it's natural.
embrace it. We love it.
The rest
if we're
of
wrong
us
about things,
don't have the excuse.
means we learn something. That's true. That's true. If you're wrong, you learn something. Isn't that what they say?
Well,
Means you learn something.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Yeah.
that
Well,
makes sense. I've never
They
heard
say
that.
they say that right after that stuff about flossing.
That's right. you have to convince your kids it's a good idea to floss. Not all of our boys does not take convincing.
So really quick, I know all you guys have
Sorry.
kids. I have 120 kids right now because I'm a teacher, not because I'm a
Oh
maniac.
boy.
Like, because you're Catholic?
Yeah, that's why.
No, I'm kidding. Wait,
But
are you actually?
huh? No.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, I am a teacher. but
We've
I'm
been
not
over
Catholic.
this.
Non-practicing. He's a non-practicing teacher.
None.
Yeah.
This makes everything worse. You just said.
But anyway, I got so all my kids are like from the age of 2 to somewhere around 9 in Vietnam over here because I'm in Vietnam. All the baby teeth, they just let them rot. So like I have a bunch of students with just black teeth, and then once
that's horrible.
Oh yeah. So once they all fall out, they're like, okay, now we'll start taking care of them.
Monica's having a panic attack right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Like, can you imagine a little kid with
horrible.
like
Oh,
black
no. I've
teeth
seen
right here?
kids like that before, but it's pretty rare here. But I've seen it. I've seen kids with rotted out teeth.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Rich
that's
kids, poor kids,
horrible.
everybody.
And here we
That's
put caps on the
disgusting.
baby teeth.
What?
Ouchie.
We put kids get caps on their teeth like to protect from cavities. It's like a really intense thing, but it's like it's pointless because they're gonna fall out anyway. You
Yeah.
ever seen that, Monica? Really, Miss Dentist? You haven't seen that? Wow. Let's
I
get
need some of
into it.
those.
Let's see. At 31:20, I'm marking it. Let's get into the episode. Are you guys ready? Glad we ended on the dental note. That's fantastic. So I'm going to give this an introduction, and if it's bad, we'll roll with it and try again. So I count down 3,